Big T with Sequoia River Outfitters and Big T Fly Fishing. Today I'm going to put together a fly called the Two Banger Midge. Actually imitates a midge cluster. It's not uncommon that you'll find midges together in bunches or groups or doubles when they're in the watersheds. And this will do a couple things for you. It gives them a little bigger meal to look at. And it also gives you some additional weight to try and get your fly down. So in essence, you're fishing two flies on one hook. This one that I tied here is on a size 14 terrestrial hook. I'm actually going to change it up a little bit. And we're going to use a size 12 curved nymph hook on this particular fly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that upside down the vise so I can get a couple tungsten beads on. And we're going to be using some countered or ball beads, and these are 2.0 copper. I'm going to go ahead and get both of them on to start. And now that we've got our beads on, we're going to flip our hook in the normal position in the vise. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a 70 denier Danville on this. You could use a UTC, but I like a thread that's got the ability to lay flat. And what I want to kind of look at is where can I put that bead, that second bead, to create almost a halfway point for the midge, and it's going to be somewhere in that neighborhood. And so I'm going to start my thread right around here and begin wrapping backwards. Once I've got that secured in, I'm going to take some small copper wire. This is just a UTC small in copper. And I'm going to tie that in. I'm going to try and get it where I can get that to lay on the top of the hook. Of course, it's not wanting to cooperate. There we go. And once I've got that in, I'm going to slide it back, even with the thread, and do touching turns on the way back. And then come back up to where we started our thread. I'm going to wrap our wire. And go ahead and get that secured down. Over top with a couple wraps. And then in front with a couple before I helicopter that wire off. The next step, I'm going to take a piece of Peacock Curl. I like this to act as a collar. It actually kind of imitates the gills of a midge. I'm going to wrap that down there and take a couple turns. Before securing it, we'll go ahead and trim that excess. And I'm going to whip finish at this point. And trim our thread off. That will allow me to go ahead and slide the first bead backwards. And I want to go ahead and push that down. And then what we're going to do is we are going to start our thread behind this bead, the front bead, wrapping backwards. And as we go, we want to push our thread, making that bead squinch up against that peacock curl, and then do just enough wraps to create what we'll call a thread dam, to make sure that we keep that bead secure back there for the time being. We'll go ahead and wrap back up to the top, and then we're going to get our wire and we're going to tie that back in. Now the key to this is knowing where your wire is. My tying desk is a complete mess right now, so all right, so we're going to tie that in. I like to just barely stick it in the bead. Makes it sit there and behave while I tie it in. We'll wrap that in and come back up with, again, touching turns, and wrap our wire. So, you know, a lot of people are like, well, how many segmentations do you do? You know, it just depends. There are times that I'll be very light on my segmentation and times that I put them a little bit closer together. That's a good political answer right there. All right, we're going to twist that off, and again, we're going to grab a little piece of peacock curl. We'll tie that in, draw it back a hair, and make a couple wraps. So I will either take a little bit of Zap-A-Gap, just to touch and brush on my thread, or sometimes I'll just use a Solar bone dry UV resin and then come through with a couple of whip finishes to secure that, and we're done. That's Big T's Two Banger Midge. It'd be like going to the grocery store and getting a buy one, get one. But give that thing a shot if you're fishing midges frequently in those areas. Appreciate you watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Visit bigtflyfishing.com for all the materials you need to tie this fly and more. And have a great day.